Greetings and salutations.
Hello and welcome to St. Genesious' production of a little play we like to call Much Ado About Nothing.
2 hours and 45 minutes will have passed before we've told our tale, including a 15-minute intermission.
We invite you to stay as long as you wish or split when you've had your share.
As you can see, this joint is jumping, but these glad rags and stomping grounds don't appear out of thin air.
St. Genesius' Shakespeare in the Park series takes a lot of work, resources, and time to produce.
We'd like to take a moment to thank our generous sponsors and affiliates,
including Suzanne McVeigh and the Village of Villa Park staff, especially Greg Gola and Susan Earle of the Parks and Rec Department, Laura Schnettler and the Chamber of Commerce, Deepa Shriya Kumar and Kevin Patrick, all of our generous sponsors,
Liz Michael,
the D'Angelo family, the Downer family, the Obrachta family, the Frank family, and the Nelson family. I Love Fries, Jade Carpentry Contractors, Mike's Meat Market, Minuteman Press, Pioneer Garden and Feed, Standard Meadery, Villa Park Masonic Lodge, and Vulcan Materials Company.
They're quite simply the cat's pajamas.
Don't be bashful. Go on and pay a visit to these businesses.
If you want some mead with your birdseed or fries with your carpentry, you know who to go to.
How else can you help?
How else can you get involved?
Well, I'm mighty glad you asked.
If you think St. Genesious is just the bee's knees, there's no better way to show it than by considering making a small donation to the organization.
Feel free to purchase some giggle juice and potato chips, or simply scan that newfangled QR code and send your donation directly to our Venmo.
Want to donate your manual or skilled labor to our next production?
Please visit our website or chat with a St. Genesious company member to see about getting involved with our next production. Now, with much more ado, please sit back,
relax,
and enjoy the show.
I find in this letter that Don Pedro of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
Few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings on full numbers. I find in this letter that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Ah, much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He has borne himself beyond the expectations of his age, by doing in the form of a lamb the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectations. You must expect me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina who will be very much glad of it.
I've already delivered him letters. There appears much joy in him. So much so, the joy couldn't show itself modestly enough without a batch of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measures.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better is it to weep at joy than to joy at weeping?
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars, or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none of any sort in the army.
What is he you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and more pleasant than he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed in these wars? For how many hath he killed and eaten? For indeed I promised to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service in these wars, lady.
Oh, he is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
Oh, and a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing. Well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a sort of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wits between them.
Alas, but he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. Who is this new companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
This is possible.
'Tis very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat, it ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No. And he were, I would burn my study. But, I pray you, who is this new companion now? Is there no young squarer that will make voyage with him to the devil?
He's mostly in the company of the right noble Claudia.
Oh, Lord! It will hang upon him like a disease! He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker was pleasantly mad! Oh, Lord, help the noble Claudio! If he had caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured!
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Oh, do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a half January.
Don Pedro has approached!
Good Signor Leonardo, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it. Never came trouble to my home in the likeness of your grace, for trouble being gone, comfort should remain. Oh, but when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes its leave. You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter. Her mother hath many times told me so.
Ooh, were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no. For then you were a child.
Oh!
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder why you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? Oh! My dear Lady Disdain! Are you yet living?
Possible Disdain should die while she hath me such food to feed it as Signor Benedict. Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you came in her presence.
Then courtesy itself is a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies. Only you excepted. And I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
Oh, a dear happiness to women! They would have else been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God, and of my cold blood I'm of your humor for that. I would rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Oh God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape a predestinate scratched face.
Oh, scratching cannot make it worse, since we're such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A part of my tongue is better than a beast of yours!
Oh, I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way. In God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick! I know you of old!
That is the sum of all, Leonardo. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart. If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome. My lady, being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please it your grace, lead on. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonardo? I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you ask me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom, as a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith, methinks she's too little for high praise, and too low for great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. And being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack? Come, what key shall the man take you in the song?
In mine eyes, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I can see no such thing. And there's her cousin, And were she not possessed with that of a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself. Though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? Hath the world no man who shall wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 30 again? Oh, go to, in faith, methinks thou wilt thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to receive you.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonardo?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You see, Count Claudio, I can be as silent as a dumb man. I would have you think this. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? That's your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it utter.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so. But indeed, God forbid, it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
Oh, that I neither feel how she should be loved, or know how she should be worthy, is the opinion fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she raised me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have her a cheek winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. For I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any, I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, to which I will go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord. Never with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I can get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house with a sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me. And let he that hits me first be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict wears it, pluck off the bull's horns and place them on my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, "Here is a good horse for hire," and let them signify under the sign, "Here may you see Benedict, the married man."
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst speak horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I'll look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonardo's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have enough matter in me, my lord, for such an embassage, and so I commit you
To the tuition of God, from my house if I had it.
The 7th of August, your loving friend, Benedict.
Hey, mock not, ere you flout old ends any further. Examine your conscience. And so, I shall leave you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
My lord. When you went onward on that ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked, but had a rougher task at hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and those war thoughts have left their places vacant. And in their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, prompting me how fair young hero is. Saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love, fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. 'Twas not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story.
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking my too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? Look what will serve as fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudia. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I bring, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice let us put it presently.
How now, sister? Where is your daughter? Hath she provided this music?
She's very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you not yet dreamt of.
Are they good?
They show well outward. Prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick-pleached alley in mine orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Count Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in the dance. If you found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit who told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
Nay, we shall hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal, so that she may be the better prepared for an answer if peradventure this be true. Go you and tell her of it. Cousin, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry your mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care this busy time.
What's a good year, my lady? Why are you thus out of measure so sad? There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore the sadness is without limit. You should hear reason. And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it? If not a present remedy, at least something. I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor. Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without concealment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace. Where it is impossible that you should take fruit, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It's needful that you frame the season for your own harvest. I would rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to fashion a carriage to rob love from any, than to be disdained of all. In this, though it cannot be said that I am a flattering, honest woman, it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle, and enfranchised with a clog, and therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
make no use of your discontent.
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here?
Fly me to the moon and let me play amongst the stars.
Ugh, what news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, for it is your brother's right hand.
Ugh, who, the most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
Ugh, a proper squire. And who? And who, which way looks he?
Mary on here, the daughter and heir of Leonardo.
Ugh, a very forward March chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for perfumer as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whip me behind the arrows, and there heard agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food for my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him anyway, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lady.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your ladyship.
Was not Countess Donna here at supper?
I saw her not. Oh, how tartly that lady looks. I can never see her, but I'm always heartburned an hour after.
She is of a very melancholy disposition.
They hath an excellent soul that were made just in the midway between her and Benedict. The one, too, is like an image and says nothing, and the other, too, is like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedict's tongue in Countess Donna's mouth, and half Countess Donna's melancholy.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man could win any woman in the world if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
Oh, in faith, she's too cursed.
Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
And what shall I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my gentlewoman? Well, he that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make courtesy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another courtesy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to find you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till men be made of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered by a piece of valiant dust? To make account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and I'll make it a sin to match my kinder.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you not be rude of your tongue. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, wooing, wedging, and repenting is a Scotch jig, a measure and a syncopace. The first suit is hot and hasty, like a Scotch jig. As small as fantastical, the wedding, mannerly and modest, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs he falls faster and faster into the syncopace until he sinks into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle.
Revelers are entering. Sister, make it room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, And especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so as I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the loot, should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better for it. The hearers may cry, amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight until this dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You're Senora Antonia.
At a word I am not.
I know you by the wagging of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit her.
You could not do her so ill well unless you were the very woman. Here's her dry hand up and down. You are she, you are she.
At a word I am not.
Come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mum. You are she. Graces will appear and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you tell me who you are.
Not now.
That I was disdainful. And that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, it was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I. Believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you. What is he?
Why, he is the Princess Jester, a very dull fool whose only gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but the libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy, for he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him! I'm sure he's in the fleet.
When I know the gentleman, I will tell him what you have said.
Oh, do! He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not laughed at or marked on, will strike him into a melancholy. And there will be a partridge wing saved, for the fool will have no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next
kissed her once, I kissed her twice. Oh, how I love my darling. When nights are low, the radio tells entertain my darling. The bedtime stories used to tickle her soul. I tried a couple, but the answer was no. Just after that, I let her go.
withdrawn, her father to break with him about it. Ugh. The ladies follow her, yet one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Senior Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. I pray you. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal in his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
And so did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Thus answer I, in the name of Benedict. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so, the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms fate melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero. Down, Claudio! Yea, the same. Come, will you go with me? Whither? Even to the next willow about your own business, County.
Come. What fashion will you wear the garland of? Around your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? Well, you must wear it one way, for the prince have got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drover, so they sell bullocks. But would you think the prince have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Hold now. You strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor herd fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. And my Lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. Princess Jester. And maybe I go about that title because I am merry. I am not so reputed. It is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and therefore puts me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
My lord, I have played the part of Lady Fave. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of this young lady. And I would accompany him to a willow, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up to a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed at finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss that the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself. The rod he might have bestowed upon you, for who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If your singing answer my saying, by my faith you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
She misused me past the endurance of a block. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, a very dull thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance that I stood like a man at a mark with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poignards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules turn spit, yea, and have cleft his club to make fire too. Come, talk not of her.
Come now.
I would to God some scholar would conjure her. For certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose, for they would go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, perturbation, and horror follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service now to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I'll fetch you a toothpicker from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great Cham's beard. Do you have any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy? You have no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh, kind. My lord, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he wanted of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil count. Civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true. Though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let him speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Indeed, my lord, I thank it, poor fool. Keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good lord for alliance! Thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, "Hi-ho for a husband!"
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day, but I beseech your grace to pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you. For out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No. Sure, my lord, my mother cried. Then there was a star that danced, and under that star I was born. Cousins, God give thee joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry your mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
there is little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and she is never sad then, for I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamt of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
By no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
County Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches to love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just the 7 nights, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come! You shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor, and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedict that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
It is so that Count Claudio will marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yeah, my lady, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lady, but so cowardly that no honesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your ladyship a year since how much I'm in the favor of Ursula, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can at any unseizable instant of the night appoint her to look out of her chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince and spread to tell him that he has wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to contaminated stale such one as Hero?
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonardo. Look to you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then, find me a meet over to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both Prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made his match and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened in the semblance of a maid that you've discovered thus. They will scarcely believe without child. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. He may call Ursula Hero, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent. And there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in thy working thus, and the fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in accusation, my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn the language.
On my chamber window lies a script. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I am here already, sir.
I know that, but I would have the hint here again. I do much wonder at one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after having laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. Such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music in him but the drum and the fife, and now would he hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would walk 10 miles afoot to see a good armor, and now would he lie 10 nights awake carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now his thoughts are turned orthography. His words are a very strange banquet to so many strange dishes. May I be converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he hath made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall never come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Mild, or come not near me. Fair, or I'll look not on her. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it please God. The prince of Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord. How still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself?
Very well, my lord. The music ended will fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, no, my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music more than once.
It is the witness still of excellence to put a strange face on her own perfection. I pray thee sing, and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suit, to her he deems not worthy, yet he woos. Yet will he swear he loves.
Nay, pray thee, come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There is not a note of mine that is worth the noting.
Notes, notes, forsooth, and nothing.
Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One put in sea and one on shore. To one thing constant never. And sigh not so, but let them go.
song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
No, Faith. Thou singst well enough for a shift. Balthazar, I pray thee get us some excellent music. For tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today? That your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Aye. Stock on, the fowl sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it true? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I know not what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? Never was counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why? What effects of passion shows she?
Baits the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think that this is a gull. That the white-bearded fellow speaks it? Knavery cannot hide himself in such reverence.
He hath ta'en the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so oft encountered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now as she is beginning to write, for she will be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she has writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
When she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheets.
That.
She tore it into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to someone she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me, yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down on her knees, she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Ah, Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He wouldn't but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should, it were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything but in loving Benedict.
Oh, I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedict of it, and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he loves her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a most Christian-like fear. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewomen carry. The sport will be when they hold one in opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene I would see. Let us send her to call him into dinner.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of it from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself too proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she would rather die than show any sign of affection. I did not think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that can hear their detractions and put them to mending. The lady is fair. 'Tis the truth. I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis true, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me, I might drop. It is no addition to her wit, nor great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks or remnants of wit broken upon me, for I have rallied against marriage for so long, but doth not the appetite alter? Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man out of the future of his career? No! The world must be peopled! Oh, when I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I would live till I was married! Here comes Beatrice! By this day she is a fair lady. I do spot some marks of love on her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come into dinner.
Sweet Beatrice! Oh, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
So, you take pleasure in the message.
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point. You have no stomach, senor. Very well.
Against my will, I have been sent to call you into dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for thanks than you took pains for thanking me. Why, that's almost as easy to say. Any pains I take for you are as easy as thanks. Oh, if I do not pity her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a miser. I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice. Whisper her ear and tell her that I, Ursula, and Balthazar walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. This is thy office, bear thee well in it.
I will make her come, I warrant thee presently.
Now, when Beatrice doth come, as we do choicest alley, up and down, our talk must only be a Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made. That only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice, like a lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then we go near her. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince, and my newly betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with his affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Does not the gentleman deserve as full, as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn right sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on. And her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore it were not good she knew his love, lest she'll make sport at it.
Why? You speak truth. I never yet saw a man. How wise, how noble, young, how fairly featured. But she would spell him backwards. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman to be her sister. If tall, a lance, ill-headed. If low, an agate, very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all wit. If silent, a black mood with none. So she turns every man the wrong side out.
Sure, such harping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions, as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. She would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it, hear what she will say.
Hey! No, rather, I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly, I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without her judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she strives to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy! Always accepted, my dear Claudio. Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show you these some attire. Which is the best to furnish me tomorrow? Woo!
She's lying, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by halves. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Fire is in mine ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, Love on, for I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind up our loves in a holy band.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue's the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterward.
What, sigh for the toothache?
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him. He is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there's no believing old signs. He brushes his hat all mornings. What should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by the loss of a beard. Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string, and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, conclude. He is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant, one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill condition, and, in spite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
But is this no cure for the toothache? Signor Leonardo, walk aside with me a while. I have 8 or 9 wise words that I must speak to you that these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this done their part with Beatrice, and now the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good e'en, sister.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me, by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who, Hero?
Even she. Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal.
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, you will see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it may better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you will follow me, I will show you enough, and when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there I will shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no further, until you are my witness. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Ha! Day untowardly turned.
Mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So you will say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
There else it were a pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Hey, that were a punishment too good for them.
We'll give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable of the watch?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can both read and write.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to read and write comes by nature.
Both which, Master Constable?
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, give God thanks. And as for the writing and reading, let them appear when there is no need for such vanities. It is thought that you are the most senseless and fit man for constable, therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You are to comprehend all vagrom men. You will bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if he will not stand?
Why then, let him alone, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he shall not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You will also refrain from making noise in the streets, for the watch to talk and babble is most tolerable, and will not be endured.
We'd rather sleep than talk. We don't belong to the watch.
You speak like a most ancient and quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills are not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses, and you will bid those that are drunk to get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not, the better answer. You may say that they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you come upon a thief, you may suspect him, by virtue of your office, to be no true man. And for such a kind of man as that, why, the less you make a meddle with them, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think that they that touch pitch will be defiled. No, the most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to allow him to show himself for what he is, and steal his way out of your company.
You have always been called the very merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
Wait, how if the nurse be sleeping will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace, for the ewe that does not hear her lamb when it baas will never answer a calf when it bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. Good night, masters, and any matter of weight chances, call up me. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we've heard our charge. Let us sit up on the church bench till 2, and then off to bed.
Masters, one word more. I pray you watch about Signor Leonardo's door, for the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant! I beseech you!
What, Conrad? Conrad, I say!
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Master, my elbow itch. I thought there'd be a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. Now on with thy tale.
Stand thee close, burn in this penthouse drizzle rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Treason, masters. Yes, stand close.
Therefore, now I've written out of John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible for any villainy to be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if possible any villainy should be so rich. For rich villains have need for poor ones will bake what price they will.
I wonder, Addie.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Didst thou not hear somebody?
No. 'Twas the Dane in the house.
I have tonight wooed Ursula, a waiting gentlewoman by the name of Hero. She leads me out of her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. Mwah! Mwah! I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell you, Ellie, the Prince Claudio, and my master, planted, placed, and possessed by my master Don John, saw far off in the night this amiable encounter.
And thought they Ursula was Hero?
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio. But the devil my master knew she was Ursula, and partially by his oath which first possessed them, partially by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio in range, swore he'd meet her as he was appointed the next morning at the temple, and there before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge in the prince's name. Stand.
Get the right master constable. We just uncovered the most dangerous piece of lechery known in the Commonwealth.
The most dangerous piece of lechery
Masters! Masters!
in all the Commonwealth.
Masters, never speak, I pray you. Let us obey you to come with us.
We are like to prove a goodly commodity being taken with these men's bills.
A commodity in question. I warrant thee.
Come, we'll obey you.
There's my cousin Beatrice, and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well, Roth, I think your other rubato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg. I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good, and I warrant your cousin Beatrice will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this. God gave me joy to wear, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee! Are you not ashamed?
Of what, lady? I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier a husband? None, I think, and it's the right husband and the right wife. Ask my lady Beatrice else. Here she comes.
Good morrow, cuz.
Good morrow. Sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am all out of other tunes, methinks. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceedingly ill.
These gloves the Count sent me. They are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell. A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of a cold. Oh, God help me! God help me! How long have you professed apprehension? Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely? It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick. Get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? Have you some moral in this Benedictus? Moral? No, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think you are in love. Nay, by your lady, I am not such a fool to think you are in love, or you will be in love, or you can be in love. And yet, Benedict was such another, and now he has become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in spite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do. What pace is this that thy tongue keeps? Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, and your Benedict, Donajon, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help to dress me. Good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Mary, we would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Mary, this is it, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Goodman Burgess, sir, speaks a little off the mark. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God willing I would hope they were, but nevertheless as honest as the skin between his brows.
Thank God I'm as honest as any man that is an old man and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous, palabrous, neighbor Burgess.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the Duke's poor officers. But for my part, Were I as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all upon your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good an exclamation on your part as of any man in this city. And though I am but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I!
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, has taken a couple of his errant knaves as enemies.
An old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, in faith, neighbor Burgess.
Indeed, neighbor. I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch have indeed intended two auspicious persons, and would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their investigation yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be sufficient.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
My lord, it's a mistake for you to give your daughter to your husband.
I'll wait upon them. I'm ready.
Go, good neighbor. Get you to Francis Secor. Bid him to bring his pen and inkhorn and meet us at the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do so wisely.
We will spare no wit, I warrant you. Go, get you to the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterward.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on our souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer none.
What men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing that they do. Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. What? Behold how like a maid she blushes here. What authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you of your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth, made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonardo. I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Not on thee seeming! I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus,
or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality?
Is my lord well, that he does speak so wide?
The prince, why speaks to not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
Well, this looks not like a nuptial.
True? Oh, God!
Leonardo, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's sister? Is this face Hero? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, my lord, but what of this?
Let me but move one question to your daughter. And by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
God defend me! How am I beset?
What man was he talking to yesternight? Out at your window, betwixt 12 and 1. Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then are you no maiden? Leonato, I am sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my sister, and this grieved count did see her.
What?
Hear her at that hour last night talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Hero, what a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity.
My horse sink you down! Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think! Help! Uncle! Friar! Hero! Why, Hero? Signor Benedict! Friar! Uncle!
Mates, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How now, cousin Hero?
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would, on the rearward of reproaches, strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one? Did I for that have frugal nature's frame? One too much, my
Sir! Be patient. For my part, I am so attired to wonder, I know not what to think.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Oh, my lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirm. That is stronger mate which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the prince lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I've only been silent so long and given way unto the course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into his face, 1,000 innocent shames that came to white to speak away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire, to burn the arrows held against her maiden truth. Call me a fool, trust not my reading nor observation,
Though experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book, trust not my age, reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. My father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours and meet, or that I yesternight contained a change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor. And if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lies in Donna the bastard, whose spirits toil in the frame of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here the princess have left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and upon your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and to all rites that appertain unto a proper burial.
What will become of this? What will this do?
Marry, this well-carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good, but not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She, dying, as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she is accused shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have, we prize not to the worth whereas we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession could not show us well as it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When he or she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his studied imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall become a periled and more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life than when she lived indeed. If ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her, no though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death shall quench the wonder of her infamy.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. Though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the Prince and Count Claudio, by my honor I will deal with this as secretly and as justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away. For to strange sores strangely they strangely cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day is perhaps but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wrong.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way. But no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office. But not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I'm sorry for my cousin.
Why, my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that swears I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Why, then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to say I loved you.
And do so with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that there is none left to protest. Woo!
Bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
No, not for the wide world.
Kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Hey, but Beatrice.
Faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare here be friends with me and fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of a villain that has slandered, scorned, and dishonored my kinswoman? That I were a man! Would bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rank, oh God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Tarry,
Sweet
Beatrice.
she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone! Prentice and Dowsies! Surely a printed testimony, a goodly count, Count Gobbeck, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend that would be a man for mine. Oh, but manlyhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliments, and men are only turned into tongues, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules and only tells a lie and swears by it! I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice. By this hand, I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea,
as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. By this hand, Claudio will render me a dear account. Come. Go comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so farewell.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, and a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry that I am, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, let them come before me. And what is your name, sir?
Baraccio.
Pray, write down Baraccio. And yours, sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yes, sir.
We hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God, and write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little more than false knaves, and it shall go about to be thought so shortly. How do you answer for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come hither, sirrah. A word in your ear. Sir, I say to you, it is thought that you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Or God, they are both in a tale. You writ down that they are none.
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Donna John, the prince's sister, was a villain.
Write down Donna John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call the prince's sister a villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, sir, that he had received 1,000 ducats for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yeah, by mass, that is!
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean, upon his word, to disgrace her before the whole assembly, and not to marry her.
Oh, thou villain, thou wilt be cast into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, fellows, than you can deny. Donna John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, have these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let Let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands!
Ah, coxcomb!
Bind them! Thou naughty varlet!
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that she were here to write me down an ass! But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it not be written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. Nay, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise enough fellow, and what's more, a householder, and what's more, an officer, and what's more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any to be found in Messina. And one who knows the law, go to, and a rich enough fellow, go to, and one who hath everything handsome about him. Take them away! Oh, that she were here to write me down an ass.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into my ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ears, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. For, sister, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion. No, 'tis all men's office to speak patience to those that wring under the loads of sorrow, but no man's virtue, nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore give me no counsel. My grief cries louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing different.
I pray thee, peace.
Inflict not all harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speak'st reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied. That shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all those that thus dishonor her.
Here comes Prince Claudio hastily.
Goodeen, goodeen.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lord.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Thou dost, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never raise thy hands at me. I fear thee not.
In faith, my hand meant nothing.
Just man, never clear in jest in me. No, Claudio, that thou hast so wronged mine innocent child in me that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with graying hair and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander has gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors. So for the tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll throw it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and active practice, his bay of youth in bloom of lustihood.
Away! I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so gas me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou killest me, lord, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first.
With me and where me, boy? Let him answer me.
Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir, boy. Come, follow me.
Get over.
I'll whip you from your sporting place.
Woo!
I am a lady. I will.
Sister.
God knows I love my niece, and she is dead. Slandered to death by fans! Boys! Snakes! Braggarts! Jacks! Whoa! No, stop!
Whoa!
Hold yourself content. What men I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the most utmost scruple. Scambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antically and show outward hideousness, and speak off a dozen dangerous words how they may hurt their enemies if they durst. That is all.
Sister Antonia.
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not you meddle. Let me deal with this.
We will not wait your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come, sister, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, senor. You are almost come to part, almost afraid.
We'd like to have had our two noses snapped off with two old folks without teeth.
Leonardo and his sister. What thinkst thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, but very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man!
I shall meet your wit in the career, and you shall charge it against me. I pray you, choose another subject.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good with what you dare and how you dare and when you dare. Prove me right, or I protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
I will meet you so I may have good cheer.
Sure, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou hadst a fine wit. True, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, says she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night which he forswore on Tuesday morning. Thus did she an hour together trans-shape thy particular virtues. Yet, at last, she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and the text underneath. Here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you to your gossip-like humors. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your sister, the bastard, has fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady, and for my lord Lackbeard there, he and I shall meet. And until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee?
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his wit. But did he not say my sister was fled?
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance.
How now? 2 of my sister's men bound? Carraccio one? Officer, what offense have these men done?
Merrily, sir. They have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. 6th and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. 6th and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned and in his own division.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no further to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me, for I have deceived your very eyes, which your wisdoms cannot discover. That these shallow fools brought to light. Who in the night overheard me confessing to this man, how John, your sister, incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Ursula in hero's garments. How you were disgraced when you should marry. My villainy live upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over my shame. This lady's dead upon mine and my master's false accusation, and briefly I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my sister set thee onto this?
Yeah, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
She is composed and framed of treachery, and fled she is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, take away the plaintiffs. By this time we have reformed Signor Leonardo of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonardo, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yeah, even I alone.
No, not so, villain, thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honest men. The third is fled, who had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid you bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people of Messina here how innocent she died. Come you to my house tomorrow, since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the rights you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Then tomorrow I expect you're coming. Tonight I must leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Ursula, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your sister.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which is not under black and white, this plaintiff, the offender, did call me an ass. I beseech you to let it be remembered in his punishment. I pray you, examine him on that point.
I thank you for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most reverend and thankful youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy babe.
God save the foundation.
Go, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave in your worship's care a most errant knave, which I hope your worship will correct for the example of others. God save your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I give you leave to depart. Should a merry meeting be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor!
Until tomorrow morning, lords, farewell.
Farewell, my lords. We will look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We shall speak with Ursula, how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well of my hand by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Oh. 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 Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a fashion, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For indeed, in thou comely terms, thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me. Why shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth it catches.
Yours is blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
I pray thee, call Beatrice. I gave thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with the vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
I will fetch Beatrice for you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come. Eyes blue, your kisses too. I never knew what they could do. I can't believe that you're in love with me. I mean in singing, but in loving? Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of panders, and a whole book full of these quantum carpet mongers whose names yet rut smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot say it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme for lady but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I did call thee?
Oh, yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Stay but till then.
Oh, that is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words. And thereon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frightened the right sense out of the words. So forcible is thy wit. But I'll tell thee plainly. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and I will hear shortly from him, or subscribe him a coward. Now I pray thee tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For all of them together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good parts to intermingle with them. For which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
Oh, in spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart! If you can spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There is not a wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in his own time his own tomb ere he dies, he will live no longer in monument than the bell rings or the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Why, an hour in clamor and a quarter in room. How doth your cousin?
Very ill.
How do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. And thereon I will leave you, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle's. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved that my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Donna John is the author of all who is blood and gone. Will you come presently? Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And, moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So were the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Ursula was at some fault in this, though against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I'm glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, by faith being enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdrawn to a chamber by yourselves, and when I call for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio agreed by this hour to visit with me. Sister, you know your office. You must be mother to your brother's daughter and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To find me or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonardo, truth it is, good signor. Your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do, with an eye of love, requite her.
That sight robe I think you had from myself, from the prince, and from Claudio. But what's your will?
My will is, for your good will stand with us this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help. Oh, here comes the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I am.
All her forth, sister. Here's the friar ready.
Which is the lady I must seize upon?
This same is she, and I do give you her.
Why then, she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not until you have taken her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Think certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live.
The former hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when, after that the holy rites have ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonders be familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do you not love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Then the Prince Count Claudio and your uncle have been deceived. They swore that you did.
Do not you love me?
By my troth, no! No more than reason.
Why then my cousin, Margaret, and Ursula are much deceived, for they swore you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead
It
for
is
me.
no matter! Then do you not love me?
No. True. But in friendly recompense.
Cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her. For here is a sheet of paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle! Here is our hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee. Oh, but by this light I will take thee for pity.
I would not deny you. By this great day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life. I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A whole college full of these wit-crackers cannot flout me out of my humor. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing. This is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee. But in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin. Come, we are friends, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, so we may lighten our hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife! Get thee a wife! There is no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn.
My lord! Your sister Donna, she's ta'en flight, brought our men back to Messina.
Think not of her till tomorrow, my lord. I'll devise thee brave punishments for her. Strike up pipers!
I love my darling. When lights are low, the radio helps entertain my darling. The bedtime stories used to tickle her so. I tried a couple, but the answer was no. Just after that, I left her flat. Oh, how I love my darling. I kiss her once, I kiss her twice. Oh, how I love my darling. In her coupe, most every day, I ride beside my darling. She goes out speeding and I can't make her stop. But then one night she went and ran down a cop. I'm out on bail, she's still in jail. Oh, how I love my darling. Woo! My darling. Oh, how I love my darling. Woo! Oh, how I love my darling.
Oh, there you are. I couldn't.
You're so silly today.